everyone, welcome back. My name is Morgan. This is my channel, Pisces Paperbacks. This is Elsa, and today I'm going to be doing a book haul of all the books that I've acquired in the last 3 months since the last time I did a book haul. Excuse the pajamas, but I am going to be working a 10-hour shift today in just a little bit, so I didn't feel like getting ready for you. Sorry. Please forgive me. Elsa, I'm trying to do something here. You're making a lot of noise. The last time I did a haul was in January, and I had a lot of books, and I've acquired a lot of books since then, it feels like, especially since the amount of unread physical books I own kind of stresses me out a little, especially since lately I've really just been in the mood to read ebooks, which I just get from my library, so it's like I really need to buckle down. And I've mentioned this in my mid-year book tag, but I want to implement something where I'm only allowed to buy books every time I read 10 books that I already own. You know what I mean? So it like kind of balances out a little bit. I've yet not been successful because since I made that decision for myself, I bought 2 books. So, you know, it's early on, gotta forgive myself, but let's just like dive into the books that I got. Starting with the worst one. I will accept your judgment, and I honestly can't fault you for judging me. This is Freed by E.L. James. Yes, the author of the 50 Shades of Grey series. This is the 3rd book of her Christian's POV series. So 50 Shades of Grey is about Anastasia Steele, who's like college grad who becomes involved in this BDSM relationship with Christian Grey, a billionaire. And so before, like when Midnight Sun was still a PDF on Stephenie Meyer's laptop or website languishing, E.L. James was like, you know what, I got my original idea for my story from Twilight, I'm gonna take it again. And she wrote the first 2 books of the series from Christian's perspective, and they're up there, you can't see them, but the first one my friend gave to me as like a gag gift, and I read it in literally an afternoon. It was horrible. I was obsessed, and I went out and I bought the second one, and I read that one in an afternoon too, and I was like, okay, where's the 3rd one? She hadn't written it, and this was published this year, literally like 4 years after the 2nd one was published, and she announced that she was going to publish this one right after Stephenie Meyer announced that she was publishing Midnight Sun. I was obsessed with the whole drama. Anyway, this is the 3rd 50 Shades of Grey book from Christian Grey's perspective. It's huge. I'm anticipating that it's going, oh my god, it's over 700 pages. I'm anticipating that it's going to be literally horrible, and I'm so excited. Up next, I'm going to talk about one of the books that I got in my Romance Read Repeat boxes that I was getting from the Rift Bodice. I've now received all 6 of them, so I'm not going to be getting any more, and I also don't remember which months these all came from, and they're also not in order, so I'm not as organized as the last time I did this. And this is Satisfaction Guaranteed by Karelia Stetz-Waters, and this is a sapphic contemporary rom-com about the owner of a like sex shop and the woman who like inherits co-ownership of like the other half of this sex store. And one of them's like, my personal life's a mess, so I'm gonna focus on the business. The other one's like very businessy but doesn't really like, wants to focus on her personal life, and I think it's supposed to be like an opposites attract situation. I've heard good things. I'm very interested. I like the cover, but like, can we just talk about this for a second? Hold on. When I first got this book in the mail, I was like, oh, that's kind of weird that this publisher published 2 books the same year with identical covers by like the same artist. It's cool that they're giving, you know, the cover artist work, but don't you think that these would compete with each other since they're identical? No, because they're not by the same artist. Are these not identical? Is it just me? Am I crazy? Am I hallucinating these? These are the exact same cover to me. They look the same. This is pink in it. That's it. That's the difference. Anyway, I'm excited. At the Duke's Pleasure by Tracey Ann Warren is the next book I'm going to talk about. I bought this for 50 cents at the library in a vlog that I posted a couple months ago. I guess I'll link that up above. Also, what the hell are you doing? I can hear you from over here, and I can tell you're doing something bad. This is about a duke who is just trying to be the perfect duke, and the only thing he's missing is a bride. And so he decides like a long-standing engagement will be fine. I'll just like have something set up and we'll just get married whenever. And then Claire, so the guy's name is Edward, and then Claire has longed for Edward since she was 16, but how is she expected to accept his proposal when she's like, he knows nothing about me? Like, we don't know each other at all, you know? And since she doesn't want to accept a loveless marriage, she goes on a quest to have Edward fall in love with her. I'm sure it'll be very cute. I really picked it because it had this beautiful cover with this spectacular step back, so very excited about that one. And then at the same time as I bought that, I also bought Jayne Krentz's Sizzle and Burn, which I read in a previous month. When did I read this? I don't remember. This is a contemporary paranormal romance about people with psychic powers. You can hear the memories of emotions put onto objects, and he can like feel the feelings that people were feeling when they held objects, and they kind of bond because she discovers the captive of a serial killer in her aunt's basement, her dead aunt's basement, but that's like also not the plot. I don't know, this was very weird, not her best, but I still like had a good time. I don't know. Next I have The Road to Rose Bend by Naima Simone. This is a book that I'm gonna be honest, not excited to get in the romance book box because, I mean, look at it. It's so like, anyway, I was not excited, and then Katie Robert, the smutty romance author, made a TikTok where she was like, these are books that based on their covers you would not think were like steamy, spicy, sexy. And this was on that list, and I was like, suddenly I am so excited that I have this, and I don't know. So this is about a newly divorced and newly pregnant Sydney Collins who left her small town of Rose Bend 8 years ago and is back with a vengeance to kind of make a life for her and her future child. And then she runs into widower and Rose Bend mayor Coltrane Dennison, which is a horrible name. Coltrane Dennison. I hate that. Anyway, he's a widower and he has a chance running with Sydney, who's all grown up and making him want what he knows he can't have, but he's also like struggling to move on from the wife and child that he lost, which I'm reading this back for the first time. I don't usually love like pregnancies in my romances, and also this is kind of a depressing setup, but I'm still interested, so whatever. Then of course I got One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston. This is their sophomore second book, and this is God.
What? I want to be in your video. Look, it's the video.
Oh, it's a book haul.
I have book hauls. Sit next to me. Oh.
My sister's in the room now. This is a sapphic romance between two women in New York, and August moves to New York and falls in love with this woman on the train who is stuck out of time from the 1970s, and I believe the plot is like them figuring out how to get her off the train. I've heard this is very good. I can't wait to read it. Red, White, and Royal Blue was one of my favorite books of last year. It's gonna be awesome. I also talked about this in my mid-year book freakout tag. This is the Wisteria Society of Lady Scoundrels. This is about Cecilia Bassingthwaite, who is a petty thief and part of the Wisteria Society crime sorority, and then she falls in love with Ned Lightbourne, the sometimes assassin who is sent to kill her. And if that doesn't sound so good, I don't know what does. We have a guest.
Hey guys.
I just got hit in the face by you.
I still wanted to be in the video. My turn. I'm a booktuber.
She's a booktuber now, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey guys. Welcome to my booktube. I just finished reading this book.
Since you've been gone. By Morgan
Matson. Pretty good. I'm pretty sure I accidentally missed out a big chunk of it when I was not reading it for like 3 months, but that's okay. Anyways, I have this book, The Four Agreements. Little tiny one.
Who's it by?
By Don Miguel
Ruiz.
Looks
great.
Next, I got this at a little crystal store, The Law of Attraction.
By
Esther and Jerry Hicks.
Great names.
Looks like a good one. Got a little big, The Moon book. This from Target. Tells you about the moon phases and what they mean. Anyways, and now I'm reading Twilight. because they just put it on Netflix. Thanks, bye.
We were glad to have you. It's my copy of Twilight.
I'm not gonna mess it up.
She's not gonna mess it up. I was like, don't bring it back in anything less than pristine condition, and then handed her a book that looked like I'd literally like run it through like a dishwasher. Yay!
Okay, bye.
The next book I want to talk about is The Prize by Julie Garwood. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, you definitely can't see it because it's behind all of these books here. I have a not insignificant Julie Garwood collection here, and a bunch of them have like really similar names. So like the Gift, The Wedding, The Bride. This is The Prize. So I saw it at the library. I picked it up for 50 cents. I literally don't know what it's about. And usually for Julie Garwood books, it doesn't matter. But let's see. Okay, so this is not really like a Scottish Highlanders romance like the rest of them. This is about Nicola, who is a captive in William the Conqueror's London court. And she's forced to choose a husband, and she chooses Royce, a barren warrior whose fierce demeanor could not conceal his chivalrous heart. And I think it's about like them, obviously, so that'll be fun. Up next is Serving Sin by Angelina M. Lopez, and this is a bodyguard romance, kind of. It's about Roman, and he rose from his Texas roots to now be the head of an elite security firm, and also the reluctant half-prince of a glamorous wine-growing Spanish kingdom. And then Zenobia, the woman, is in the CEO role she's trained for her whole life, but serious growing threats against her are derailing a product launch that will change the Mexican industrial landscape forever. 13 years ago, decorated former Army Ranger Roman Shepherd rescued Mexican heiress Zenobia Trujillo from, oh my god, I said that so wrong, Trujillo, from a shocking kidnapping that riveted the world. So they have like history and they're gonna have chemistry. I'm very excited about this one. I also think it has like a cool cover. I don't know, I like the cover. Up next I have Dead Dead Girls by Nekesa Afia, and this is a murder mystery in 1920s New York, and it is about Louise Lloyd, and she is working at a cafe, spending nights at this club called the Zodiac. She has a girlfriend and just like trying to live her best life. But when a girl shows up dead in front of the cafe where she works, she's forced to, you know, confront the fact that black girls have been dying and she needs to start investigating. And I've heard that this book is like darker than you think it's going to be, but I'm obsessed. It also has the best dedication page I've literally ever seen. Let's talk about it. I don't know if you can see it, but I'll read it to you. To Aaron Tveit, I'm free on Thursday night and would like to hang out. Please respond to this and then hang out with me on Thursday night when I am free. It's like, honestly, Aaron Tveit, me too. I'm also free on Thursday night. Please, let's hang out on Thursday when I'm free. Okay, so this is Flirting with Forever by Cara Bastone. I don't think I've literally ever read the back of this book, but this was another book from the romance reading boxes, and this is about Mary Trace. She's back in the dating pool in her 30s, and when a regular at her, like, quirky Brooklyn boutique is like, let me set you up with my son on a blind date, she reluctantly agrees. The date's going well, and then he insults her age, and it's like, yikes, no. They're not together. Like, he's messed up the date, it's not going well. But the mom keeps like orchestrating them running into each other to the point where they're like, let's just pretend to date to get her to back off. And then the fake dating turns into friendship, which turns into real love, and that sounds like a very cute concept. That sounds like a fake dating concept where I'm not immediately like, you know what I mean? Like, I can get behind it. I think it'll be cute. Just 2 physical books left, and then I just have a couple ebooks I want to talk about. So this is The Girl with Stars in Her Eyes by Zio Axelrod, and this was another book from the romance book box. This is exciting because it's a romance about a musician in Philadelphia, which are, I don't usually care about like music and musicians in my books, so that's kind of like whatever, but it has a cute premise where it's basically Toni was a young musician who kind of really only had her guitar to her name, and then she formed a relationship with an older, wiser musician named Sebastian when one day he like left town with no word. Oop, knocked the camera, sorry about that. And then now it's, Years later, Toni has made a name for herself in like the Philadelphia indie scene, and she auditions to be the lead singer in a band where Sebastian is their manager. And so it's like, I don't know about that, except for, you know, maybe there's second chance chemistry. And so it has a great cover, has a great synopsis. My issue is with how fucking long this book is. Tell me why literally any contemporary romance needs to be over 400 pages. What the fuck is this? Like, I'm sure it'll be good, but holy shit, why? Anyway, I have... Lastly, and very different, I have The Anthropocene reviewed by John Green. This is John Green's first adult book, his first nonfiction book, and this is an essay collection where he writes essays reviewing aspects of the human planet on a 5-star scale. And they're not just like, it's based on a podcast that he's had and that I've listened to for a while, and it's not just like, oh, this is, you know, an essay about soccer, and rating soccer. It's also an essay where he dives into like what it means to be a fan, be part of a community, like, and what that community has meant to him in different points of his life. So this book is also very autobiographical. It's like part memoir, and it's just, I haven't read it yet, but I have listened to, I know that it's based on the podcast, and several of the essays here are just going to be straight up, like, the essays from the podcast just written down. And when I've cried about these. Like, I've cried when he talked about grass. Like, John Green has a way of, I know that, you know, the only book of his that I've read is The Fault in Our Stars. I know that he, like, writes these, like, tearjerker, like, YA, whatever. Like, we get it. But he is such a good writer and, like, conveyor of emotions. And I love the Vlogbrothers, and I'm so excited to read this book. I think it's beautiful. I think it's this beautiful purple and black, and the end papers. And I pre-ordered this book. It's signed, and it's just... I can't wait to read it. Okay, the last 3 books I'm going to talk about are ebooks. I have Jalopy by Wes Verne. The only reason I picked this up is because the author emailed me about it, and it happened to be free on Amazon, and I was interested. I honestly don't remember what it's about. I believe it's sort of like a soapy family drama / romance that's set in like the 1920s. So that's interesting to me. I believe I remember it being like kind of long, so we'll see when I get to it. And then I also have Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. This I thought was interesting for a really long time, and it was on sale on Kindle, so I picked it up. And this is about a woman who is convicted of murder, and as she is awaiting her execution, she is sent to live, I think, on this farm in remote Iceland or Greenland. It's like that kind of situation. It's about this family who like takes her in for like to live there as she's approaching the end of her life, I believe. And I am very excited to read it. I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna like it. I just have a good feeling about it. And then the last one I picked up is called A Human Stain by Kelly Robson. And this is a novelette, so it's like 40 pages. It's kind of a very long short story. And this is a horror story, a Tor.com like original. And this is about a British expatriate who is kind of at loose ends and is hired by a friend of hers to watch her friend's newly orphaned nephew in this like German castle, I believe, and like weird shit starts to happen. I was like, oh, it has a really cool cover, and then I looked it up on Goodreads, and I read like, you know how people will like take excerpts and put like one sentence from a book in their review, and I saw the very first one that had that, and I read the sentence that was in it, and it was something about like, as she was like going through the house, she discovered a bone with tooth marks in it. There must be a dog around here. She'd have to make sure to make friends with it. And I was like, is there cannibalism? Because immediately I'm interested. So here you go. My last book that I bought. Very excited to read very soon. I don't know how many books that was, and I don't want to know. So let me know if you've read any of these, what you thought of them, if you're going to read any of them because you found out about them here. I'd be very interested to know. I hope you enjoyed this book haul, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!